HighFleet pro tip: do not use nuclear missiles on strike groups blank. And what do I mean by this, and what is the missing word in this sentence? You shall find out within this video. And hey there, my fellow Tarjans, I'm Captain Beans, and welcome back to HighFleet, where I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks that I have learned throughout playing the game, which might be very useful, especially if you're new to HighFleet, or even if you have been playing HighFleet, but maybe just want to slightly play the game a little bit better. And so, let's go! And the first thing that a new Tarjan might want to know, especially if they're playing normal or hard difficulty for the first time, is make sure to watch your morale. Each and every ship in your fleet has a certain level of morale, ranging from 0 up to 10. 10 being they will literally fight for your country and die, and 0 being they will literally turn hostile against you. And how do you lose morale, you may ask? Well, on easy difficulty, it is enough to just enter battle and you will lose 1 morale for each of your ships that enter battle. And that is actually about it. That's the only way you lose morale in the easy difficulty, as far as combat goes. Of course, there's also the main storyline, which also decreases morale quite a bit, but I won't give any spoilers about that. But on normal and harder difficulty, the way that you lose morale in combat is if you restart the combat. In case you have been either shot too much, or you ran out of fuel, or something happened and you want to restart the battle, well, guess what? All of your ships that are in battle will lose 1 morale each time that you restart. So make sure you watch the morale of your crew. Otherwise, your very well built ships will turn hostile if their morale goes down to 0. And flying in at number 2, do not use aircraft against tactical aircraft carrier groups. You'd think that plane beat plane, right? Well, yes. And that is probably why it is not a good idea to send an aerial strike against a tactical aircraft carrier. Because what they can do is that they can send a couple of T-7s armed with air-to-air missiles and just wreck your entire aerial strike before they even reach the enemy. And so, how do you deal with aircraft carrying groups, you may ask? Well, either send a ship after the aircraft carrying group, or send a couple of missiles at the aircraft carrying group, or even better, send a nuclear missile. The hilarious type of missile. If you do that, you'll also get bonus points for committing the finest of war crimes. And if you do that, I will like you. Just keep in mind that flight decks are actually kind of somewhat resistant to nuclear warheads for some reason, so you might need to send a couple of nukes at an aircraft carrying group instead of just 1, so yeah, keep that in mind. And moving on to number 3, how to fully convince Omar Khan at the very beginning of the game. So, whenever you start a campaign, you are given a small pot, which the guy tells you to give to Omar Khan. But don't travel to Omar Khan immediately. Instead, capture some towns around Omar Khan. That way you enter some combat and you can salvage some gifts out of all of this wreckage that you got from combat. And once you meet Omar Khan, you can choose the first option whenever you get to talk to him and use the gifts and your favorite diplomatic card game to get all of the stars and to make Omar Khan just absolutely ecstatic to join the war criminals. Oh, what was that? Oh, no, I didn't say war criminals. Oh, no, never, no. I wanted to say our good, noble cause. And moving in hot on number 4, how to take out a garrison with a nuclear missile without damaging the town. So, let me show you a simple trick which you can use to nuke a garrison without damaging the town and committing, well, the war crimes. So, right here we have a town which I would like to capture without damaging it, because if I do, this town will no longer be a fuel depot. And so here's how we do it. Grab a very fast and a very maneuverable ship, such as my fast tanker design, and send it into the town, alone. Make sure to send the ship alone and make sure it has enough fuel to escape and run around after it has engaged the enemy. And with your main fleet, basically just land near the town and make sure that your radar is turned on so that your fire control radar tracking, which is this yellow circle, is on. And so let's just land somewhere here with the fleet, and the fast ship is going to engage the garrison. Once you enter combat, basically just wait until the garrison takes off, and once they do, hit that retreat right there. Alright, they have retreated, and so let's retreat. Alright, once you have engaged in combat with the garrison, wait for them to send the alarm and wait for the garrison to take off on the tactical map. Once you hear the attention visual contact, that usually means that the garrison has taken off, and now they are following your fast ship. And the key to this now is to lead the garrison away from the town and once you have led them far enough, so let's just see, yeah, around 60 kilometers, that's okay. So once the garrison is far enough from the town, send a nuclear missile at this garrison. If you have them on the tracking, you can use the tracking capability to just aim the missile at the target, and the missile will automatically set course for the garrison. But be careful, because this garrison right here is made of small ships, and small ships typically don't appear on radar. So what you'll have to do is slow down the speed of your fast and maneuverable ship by using this lever right here, and use the visual contact of this ship to guide the nuke at the garrison. Let me just show you how that works. So you can see that the missile has this red line that leads to the garrison. That means it has set course and is now heading towards the garrison. And as long as the garrison is within visual contact range of this ship, this missile is guided towards the garrison. And moving into the territory of number 5, the last but not least, Barabane. Do not use nuclear missiles on strike groups. Drumroll. First. Use regular missiles first. And let me tell you what do I mean by that. So, if you want to destroy a strike group via nuclear strike, you'll have to first expend their missile defense. And the typical missile defense that a typical strike group has are a bunch of R9 sprint missiles, which basically, if a plane or missile gets into the tactical screen, the enemy ships will use these R9 sprint missiles to intercept the said missile or plane before they reach the ships. And this also applies to nukes. And when nukes are intercepted before it reaches the ships, well, it doesn't do much damage. It does some, but not as much as you would like. And so, the way to waste all of the enemy R9 sprint missiles, just send a couple of regular missiles at whatever strike group that you're dealing with, and then once you're confident that they don't have any more sprint missiles, send a couple of nukes their way. And watch as these ships just absolutely get devastated as they are blown away in the hail of nuclear fire. And keep in mind that this works even better if the strike group is airborne, because if the strike group is airborne, the ships are not protected by the terrain, and so if a nuke detonates close to a group of ships, it can damage up to 4 ships quite a lot and could kill them. So yeah, keep that in mind. And so, my fellow Tarjans, this is going to be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. Happy HighFleet!